Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we check out a new wrestling academy in Hull for people with disabilities. We have another canine looking for a home in Dog of the Week. And my guest is Phil Haskins, one of the organisers of the Hull Marathon, here to talk about that event. Welcome to Estuary News, I'm Hugh Richards. Time now for the news headlines.
Hello there. A head teacher in Immingham says coastal schools can overcome problems identified in a national report. The Combating Isolation report, published by the Future Leaders Trust, highlights how industrial decline and geographical isolation mean coastal schools can struggle compared to inner city counterparts. Kevin Rowlands of Oasis Academy Immingham has praised in the report and says fueling student aspirations is key.
Because we've got to be able to demonstrate to our students that there is further opportunities and the value of doing well in school, and for us and for them is the opportunity that we want as many of them as possible to be able to go on to further and higher education. We want to see young people from our community in university.
A Scunthorpe school has expanded to meet a rise in demand for places. The £480,000 extension at St Peter and St Paul's Primary School was officially opened yesterday and is the latest in a larger line of schools in our area to expand with new classrooms. Head teacher Katie Maguire says a new estate built nearby and a rising birth rate are all raising demand.
Well, our school opened 3 years ago. We were going to be a 210 place school that took 5 years to fill. After 3 years, we're already at capacity, so these 2 new classrooms are being built to just take on the extra children in our community. As we know, the birth rate is rising across North Links and there's a real demand for school places, so we're really delighted that we can meet that need with our 2 extra classrooms.
The government has been asked for money to help assist with the retraining of the Tata Steel workforce. It's hoped the funding will help the training opportunities and setting up new business opportunities. A business hotline has also been set up to help those businesses in the supply chain who were affected by the cuts. The announcement was made following a task force meeting between North Lincolnshire Council, the DWP, Job Centre Plus and other organisations. And a proposal to relocate the Scunthorpe Hospital car park and ride service to a central location has been made in light of Scunthorpe United's future move. The current service, which runs between Glanford Park and the hospital, was launched to ease pressure on parking. But with the football club looking to move, a new site is now needed. The public are being asked to have their say on where the service should start from. That's all from me for now. If you have any news, don't hesitate to call us on 01472 315553. That's all for now.
They always say don't try this at home. In this instance, I'm talking about wrestling. Our region has many wrestlers, but now there's a new group in town. We sent Dave Nunn to Hull to meet a group of wrestlers with disabilities.
Like all sports, wrestling tries to be as accessible as possible to people of all abilities, including those with disabilities. However, 2 entrepreneurs and wrestlers in Hull are setting up a new wrestling company because they believe wrestling isn't all inclusive.
We're trying to improve on the wrestling business today. We're trying to make it more accessible for everyone rather than just able-bodied people. We're sick of all this stereotyping that because someone's deaf or someone's has lost a limb or something like that, it's impossible for them to do a sport. Whereas we say different. We believe they are able to, and we can make them wrestlers.
Dan is deaf and says that if he can be a wrestler, then anyone who is disabled can follow in his footsteps.
There are obstacles for every person. It's never the same obstacle for the same person either. Is when you're deaf, when it comes to wrestling, there's a lot more involved to wrestling than most people actually see. And I believe that if somebody like me can become even a semi-professional wrestler, it's just a no-brainer. If we can do it, anybody can do it. It's a fair game, you know. I mean, people will struggle. I won't say they won't. I won't say it's not going to be difficult either. But when it comes to something that you're passionate about, you will always give it 110%. You will never just leave it and you'll never let it lie.
It's not just about wrestling. Being disabled can lead to becoming socially isolated, and Stephen says that one of the main aims of XBW Wrestling is to get disabled people involved in something new and enjoyable.
There's lots of things we can offer them. We can offer them stuff like
Confidence boosting.
confidence boosting, fitness training. It will just change their outlook on life. They will feel a lot freer and a lot better in themselves for doing this, and we guarantee we can make something big of them.
Dan says that wrestling has helped him overcome his disabilities and has helped him manage his ADHD. He emphasises how important wrestling has been in changing him as a person, and admits that if he wasn't wrestling right now, he'd probably be in prison.
Again, myself, I was a very introverted person. I wasn't very outspoken. I wasn't comfortable speaking to others. I wasn't even comfortable being around others. I was just scared of people in general. Because of my infirmities, my eyesight, my hearing, I'm also ADHD, and it puts a dampener on your life. And if it wasn't for wrestling, I don't think I'd be where I am today. I won't be as outspoken. I wouldn't be as passionate about anything, to be fair. As it was going before I started wrestling, I believe in a cell. As it happens, I do genuinely believe the way my life was turning out before wrestling, I'd have ended up in a prison cell before now.
And if you've a news story you'd like the team to cover, then please contact us via our social media pages or call 01472 31553 or 315561, or alternatively send an email to news@estuary.tv. Still to come, there's another adorable dog needing a new home in our featured Dog of the Week, and we'll have all the latest local sports news. This year saw a Hull Marathon. It was last held in 2012. 100 people had signed up in the first 24 hours when it was launched in 2014. Joining me is Phil Haskins from Wolds Events, who organised the race. Phil, thanks very much for coming in.
Pleasure here.
There was 100 people on the first day. How many people ran it in the end?
Well, in the end, we had about 800 actual marathon runners, and then a further 500 people taking part in the relay event. So about 1,300 altogether. There was a dropout of 15-20%, which is normal for these things. So we were pleased with the overall total.
So tell me about that relay event. There were two runs, as it were. There was the 26-mile marathon. What was the relay?
The relay was a four-person event, basically four people running different parts of the 26.2 miles.
Marathon for wimps then, really?
A marathon for those people who want to sample the atmosphere but don't necessarily feel they can get around 26.2 miles. But seriously, it worked really well in the sense that it was a great way for people to get into running, and who might balk at the idea of running 26 miles, but who wanted to be part of the event. And you never know, next year they might look to do the whole marathon itself.
So there will be a marathon next year?
We're looking to put one on, yes, yeah. And we've got a date in mind, and I'm working with my team at the moment to get everything in place, and then hopefully before the end of the month, before the end of October, we'll be able to open up entries and start getting people in.
It's a logistical nightmare, isn't it, running these marathons? I mean, they've become so popular all over the world, but you have to close down the centre of the city.
Yes, yes, we do, and that brings with it its own challenges. I mean, it's almost a project in itself. And if I was being self-critical, I think that something we're going to work on in the future is really that whole aspect of traffic management, because you do have to run an event like this, you have to make the runners safe, and that involves closing down the roads. And I think people aren't used to that on a Sunday morning. So we've got challenges ourselves in really making people aware of what's happening. And I think next year it will be easier, because we'll had this year to learn from. But yeah, no, it is a logistical challenge. But then again, people are getting a world-class event on their doorstep. And
do you take advantage of as you're planning the route of the beautiful old town in Hull and the waterfront? I mean, it could be a wonderful run. The
thing is about the marathon in Hull and the route we put is there's a kind of something for everyone. As you say, you've got the old town with its history and going around the marina, the maritime heritage, but you've also got sort of modern things, the KC Stadium and the Humber Bridge itself. We have a double crossing on the Humber Bridge. Which
really? So you actually come up out of town and
we go
right,
we come right across to Barton upon Humber, and a little bit of a stretch along Farrings Road, which is nice because it's more in the countryside. And then we come back through town. We come back right through the lovely village of Hessel. And we even managed to go through a school. We went through the centre of Sirius School, which is a lovely, huge building, similar to this one. It is something not many other marathons do. And then equally at the end of it, we went through a working dock, ABP's dock, obviously, which was
a health and safety nightmare, I presume.
Not necessarily. I mean, obviously they sort of closed down their operations for a period of time, and it did allow us to come back into the centre without cutting on some of the major roads. So essentially there was lots of different aspects to the route, which I think runners appreciated.
Who won?
You got me there. It was a chap whose name I've forgotten, but I know the time he did it in about 2 hours 35.
2 hours 35.
He was about 9 minutes in front of the other runners.
For 26 miles, that's what, about 13, an average of about 13 miles per hour.
It's something pretty fast. It's about a 5.5, 6 minute mile. Yes.
All right, Phil, don't go away. We'll come back much more to talk about the marathon, and especially the one coming up in the future. So stay with us till after the break, and we'll hear more then from Phil and about the Hull Marathon, and we find another poocher home in the Dog of the Week, and we have the latest sports news. Welcome back, you're watching Estuary News. Still to come, we hope to find another lovable dog, a home in Dog of the Week, and we'll have all the latest sports news and results. Still with me in the studio is Phil Haskins of the Hull Marathon. That was, 26 miles.
26.2 miles. Yes.
in two and a bit hours.
Just over 2.5 hours, yes. Yeah. And given the world record is 2 hours and 4 minutes, I think. So you imagine how fast that is as well.
Why do people do it? It can't be comfortable.
No, it's not. I think essentially I mean, people enjoy running, but for other people, it is the challenge of actually, first of all, challenge of getting round to 26.2 miles. If you've ever tried, I'm sure you have tried running that sort of distance.
I've never tried running any distance whatsoever.
Well, even try running a little bit. It build up a sweat. It's a challenge, and I mean, people enjoy that challenge and being able to train for it and then do the event, have all the sort of razzmatazz around the actual event, and then complete successfully the challenge, and then feel good about themselves afterwards.
Really?
There's a real high.
Exhausted, panting, sweating, hot,
all of it.
disgusting,
but imagine
smelly.
It's a sense of achievement. It's like, for example, if you write a really good article or do a great interview, it's that sense of achievement, I think, that people have.
Should probably at this point emphasise.
And the health benefits.
That Hull does have a perfectly good public transport system as an alternative to.
Yes. Yes, extremely good public transport and good taxis and bicycles.
The health benefits you touched on there. I mean, we do tend not to get enough exercise. We don't have the chance to get much exercise, do we? A marathon might be a bit extreme, but how important is it just to move around a bit, get the blood going?
But you're right. I think it's very important. We do tend to lead a pretty sedentary lifestyle increasingly these days. Gone are the days where you do lots of manual labour. We're sat at the desk with our computers in front of us, and you don't get the chance to actually get outside. And essentially, it's a question of just working up a sweat, just forcing your body to do some physical.
Every day we should do something that gets us a little bit out of breath. I think that's the advice that I.
Simple piece of advice, but I concur with that. I think it's a good idea.
Okay, all right. Did you run it?
Not on the day itself. I have run marathons. Obviously, I've run 3 marathons, but no, on the day I'm organising things and just pulling my hair out and getting a bit nervous.
You are an athletic sort, though, aren't you? I hear you do triathlons.
I do. Yes, I do some triathlons, and that's really how I got into this whole idea of organising the marathon itself. It's a question I've always been interested in sport and all types of sport, but keeping myself fit and it makes me feel good.
And just to remind us, a triathlon is swimming, bicycling, and running. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's it. Yeah, and in that order. Yeah,
20
of various distances.
Not 26 miles each. 26 miles swimming would be.
That's a long way, but what happens in it, for example, it's called an Ironman triathlon, is you have it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile cycle ride, and then a marathon on top of that, and that's obviously, imagine how difficult it is just to run a marathon, but then doing that stuff before then.
That would absolutely ruin my weekend. One more thing, you've got cycling events coming up as well, because you're interested in cycling as well. Something coming up in
Yeah,
Yorkshire.
well, that's another side of the business. As well as doing the marathon, we do a cycle sportif over in East Yorkshire, in Driffield, and that's on 24th of April this year, which is just a week before the Tour de Yorkshire.
2016.
Yes,
next year.
next year. Definitely
Okay.
this year.
I'll just show off, because you've got a beautifully designed T-shirt
Oh,
here
yes.
for the Hull Marathon, various sponsors, and people can go, just Google up Hull Marathon and get there.
We'll basically, in hopefully say before the end of the month, we'll be announcing the date for next year, which I'll announce it now.
Phil, going to have to stop you there.
Stop there.
Thank you very much. Time now for Dog of the Week. Can you give this canine a home?
Dog number 89 is a large crossbreed, approximately 2 years old, walks very well on the lead, very clean in the kennel, will make a very nice pet.
And now joining me for a look at some of the other local stories, Dan Kemp. Dan.
Good evening, how are you?
Very well, thank you. What have you found?
Not bad, thank you. First story is residents in West Hull. They're feeling unsafe at the moment because their police station's been closed. Some residents from the area, this is a story in the Hull Daily Mail, some residents from the area say they've seen an increase in crime since it was closed. Some say that some rubbish has been dumped, an unusual quantity anyway, and louts have been seen hanging around the area as well. So it's obviously a concerning time for people in the area that the police have gone and that crime's on the up.
This is connected to closing police stations, is connected to the reorganisation of the Humberside Force and the fact that it has recently been found by Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Police to be inadequate. And
that was just the Humberside Force as well, wasn't it?
Just the Humberside Force, it was only. So this is very much evidence, my lord, of those charges being proved true.
And of course, as you said, it's been rated as such, but they're also looking to make savings by 2019 of £31 million as well. So I'm glad I'm not in charge of that task.
Well, quite, yes. And the Commissioner for Police and Crime will be joining me in a Hot Topic programme in coming weeks. Not long.
Brilliant.
Matthew Grove. Another story.
Yes, the next story. This is Stephen Parnby, who's the leader of East Riding of Yorkshire Council, who's maybe another person you'll be looking at to have on Hot Topic at some point, talking about devolution. His preferred move is to take the East Riding of Yorkshire into a Greater Yorkshire Combined Authority with York and North Yorkshire and Hull City Council as well. And this is a piece in the Driffield Times and Post and the Beverley Guardian, which is where he's kind of aired his thoughts on the move and what he wants from devolution. He said that he thinks devolution offers Yorkshire an unprecedented opportunity to take more control of its own destiny as a huge economic power base.
How devolved does he want to be? Does he want to be devolved like Scotland or Wales, or does he want to be devolved like the 13 colonies of the United States?
It's probably more like the first one.
Okay.
But equally, I don't think this stage they're at, it's going to get that far as going the way Scotland have. But I think they just want more powers to be able to spend on transport infrastructure and things like that.
Well, they're more powers to spend. It's not going to have more money to spend necessarily.
Well, no, that might well be the issue.
It's interesting, it's just Northern Yorkshire and the East Riding. He's not talking about South Yorkshire at all.
I believe South Yorkshire have got a separate bid, which may also involve Leeds, but I think there are rival bids there.
Okay.
And obviously everyone's trying to match up with different people. Of course, there was the East Riding and Hull were possibly going to go in with North Lincolnshire and North East Lincolnshire, and that seems like that's gone away for now as well.
Sure, okay, that's the horrible old Humberside.
Confusing,
everybody hates it.
Confusing topic. Yes, this is the next story, is a plan to build new business units in Caystone. That's been given the green light over the last couple of days. On Enterprise Road, they want 9 business units, and the council, Caister Town Council, have said they don't object to that plan. And councillors at September's meeting in the Town Hall believe the development will be good for the town. But some people, of course, with every story there's an opposition.
Of course.
And people are saying that the view from their garden will be ruined with the site. I think it'll be just 20 metres away from housing. They'll devalue property, and there'll be more traffic noise as well.
Well, okay. It's always controversial, that, isn't it?
Yes. The next story, this is Michael Wood, who is the East Riding town crier, and he's been named the best in the country.
I'm not surprised. He's brilliant. I've heard him.
He's brilliant. I've seen him a few times, and he's fantastic. He was at the launch of the Tour de Yorkshire last year. He's a fantastic piece there. He's the British town crier champion now.
He looks fantastic, and he sounds noisy.
It was, well, exactly. In addition to being crowned the British town crier champion, he was also named to have the best content of cry.
Excellent.
As well.
Good man. One very quick one in 20 seconds. Halloween story.
Yes, this is a prankster shopping in Morrison's was given a shock to other people as a severed leg was left on the meat counter.
Horrible. Not a real severed leg, it turns out. Doesn't improve your appetite very much, does it?
No, not really. I'm
thank
not going to
you.
be shopping there.
Thank you very much. Time now for the sports news.
North Ferriby United have no fresh injury worries for Saturday's FA Cup 4th round qualifier against Stalybridge Celtic. Assistant manager Mark Carroll says striker Ryan Kendall is likely to return to the squad, while Tom Denton will set out the final game of his ban. And Carroll knows how tough the game will be.
A big, physical, well organised, very, very dangerous at set pieces. They have long throwing. We've got some experienced players in there, so it'll be a tough game, but it's a winnable game as well.
Meanwhile, Grimsby Town are also in FA Cup action on Saturday as they travel to Harrogate Town of the National League North. Their assistant manager is Mariners record appearance holder John McDermott. Here's manager Paul Hurst.
I'm pretty sure all the clubs going into this, they want to be in what many people consider the proper draw, or how it starts, and the next target after that is obviously can you make it to the 3rd round, where it opens up even greater possibilities.
Hull City striker Tuba Akpom is now targeting a good run in front of goal. He netted in Tuesday's 3-0 win over Ipswich, and the man on loan for the season from Arsenal told the club's official website he's now hoping to kick on. And you can hear from his manager Steve Bruce ahead of Saturday's game against Birmingham on Friday's show. That's all for now. Don't forget to get in contact with any sports stories you have for us. You can call 01472 31553. Email sport@estuary.tv or search for us on Facebook or Twitter @estuarytv. And that's all for the sport.
That's it for tonight. If you have a story for us, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages or email news@estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 01472 31553. Details on the screen. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Rix Petroleum, your local family-owned heating oil supplier this winter.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. A breezy but mostly dry day on Friday with broken cloud, thickest in the west with a few brighter spells likely, especially in the east, maximum temperature of 13 degrees. Breezy with occasional rain, some heavy during Saturday, then perhaps drier later with frost possible overnight.
Rix, servicing the region's oil boilers this winter from a name you can trust. Get in touch at rix.co.uk or call us on 01482 838383.